Good morning, Pirates. This is the video for Monday morning, April the 6th. I want to remind you that this Friday and next Monday will be holiday, so we won't be having lessons. Enjoy your long weekend. Hopefully you can do something fun with your family and enjoy some good weather. I would love to see pictures and hope you are all doing well. Before I get into the lesson today, I just want to make sure that you did watch the video before this. The link was in your Chemistry Digital Notebook, and there were 8 questions to answer with it. It's a very good video, and it's going to help set the stage for our lesson today. So make sure you've done that first. Okay, if you've made it this far, that means you've done the first video with its 8 questions, and you're ready to learn more about the unique role of the water molecule. Water is a polar covalent bond, which means that the electrons are being shared unequally. Because of this unequal sharing, that means the oxygen will sometimes have a partial charge and the hydrogen will sometimes have a partial charge, making this a polar molecule. So in other words, it has a positive pole and a negative pole. 2 poles. Our polar versus our nonpolar molecules. As we've already said, polar is caused by the unequal sharing of electrons. Like dissolves like. This means that a polar substance will dissolve another polar substance, and it won't dissolve a nonpolar substance. Water is polar, oil is nonpolar. This is why they don't mix. Water will dissolve ionic compounds. Remember, ionic is a metal and a nonmetal, like sodium chloride or table salt. You can dissolve salt in water. Now we're going to talk about the actual water molecule. So here's my oxygen, here's my 2 hydrogens, and it actually has this bent shape. It's not a straight line. It has this bent shape because there's a lone pair of electrons hanging out on top of the oxygen, and that lone pair is pushing away the electrons that are with the hydrogen. So it pushes the bonds downwards to make this bent shape. Now, hydrochloric acid, we have our hydrogen with our negative charge, and I just wrote oxygen by accident, so I'm going to have to erase that. Give me just a second. Okay, so there we go. Hydrochloric acid has hydrogen and chlorine. Now there are no lone pairs here, so it is a linear shape. It's like a straight line. Our nonpolar molecules, the electrons are shared by the adjacent atoms and bonds, and they're shared equally. These are very strong bonds. They're important in biology. Peptide bonds, chains of amino acids, are found in our DNA, are made out of these. Some properties of water. Cohesion is the ability to self-attract. This is why when water is spilled, it kind of beads together. And this is actually the result of what is called surface tension. In the video you were supposed to watch before this lesson went into detail about surface tension. It exists in all 3 phases. And yes, I know plasma is a thing, but we're talking about the big 3. That would be solid, liquid, and gas. And the continuous movement between these 3 phases is called the water cycle. Now remember, water vapor, the gas, is less dense than solid ice, and solid ice is less dense than liquid water. So because the solid ice is less dense, that's why it floats on water. Density is why ice can float on water. You can sometimes spot fake ice in movies because they use plastic or really hard stuff that's dense and it doesn't float. So it's kind of fun on a TV show or a movie to spot the fake ice because the real ice would melt during filming. So you can see it's fake when it doesn't float in the water, it just hangs out in the bottom of their glass. Okay, we're going to round this out with a little bit of vocabulary about solutions. A solute is something that is being dissolved. So for example, I have sugar. Sugar can be dissolved. A solvent is the substance that is doing the dissolving. So my example here is tea. When I add these two things together, my solution is sweet tea. The universal solvent is water. Don't forget, there's one more slide, your daily question slide. It has a short video to watch with some more fun scientific facts. Someone else does this video. They do a very good job. And it will have 6 questions to answer. And then you are done with your chemistry lesson for today. I hope you guys have a good afternoon, and I'll catch up with you tomorrow.